All right, this is podcast 6. It says burgled between the 2nd of the 6th to the 3rd of the 7th, 2025 at Alma Grove nationwide scams. Mervyn Lee Miles versus Housing for Women, and there are the claim numbers. Yeah. The defendant applies to have the following claims struck out in their entirety pursuant to CPR 3.42A-C. Here they are. I'm going to do a lot of reading because I need to get this in here as much as possible. For clarity, the defendant wishes to make it clear that in accordance with CPR 3.47, it has not filed defenses to any of the claims as it is applying to strike them all out. Background. The claims were issued by the claimant via the online civil money claims pilot, the pilot. The first, second, and third claim were issued on the 15th September 24. The fourth and fifth claim were issued on the 6th September 24. The claims were transferred by the court of its own violation out of the pilot to mayors and city county court. The defendant is seeking that all 5 of the claimants' claims are struck out in their entirety under CPR 3.4. By way of background, the defendant made an application for an injunction order against the defendant in July 2023. An injunction order was made against the claimant on the 1st of August 2023 in claim number KO2CLA27 for the period of a year, the injunction, in relation to proven incidents of antisocial behavior, including incidents whereby the claimant committed incidents of antisocial behavior against members of both the defendant's staff and neighbors. The claimant breached the injunction order dated 1st August 2023 on multiple occasions in August 2023, and capital proceedings for contempt of court were subsequently brought against her on the 31st of August 2023. The committal hearing duly took place on the 12th of June 2024, at which the claimant admitted breaching the terms of the injunction and all the allegations against her contained in the contempt application. A copy of the order dated 12 June 2024 is enclosed. The claimant is therefore now awaiting sentencing for the same. Housing Ombudsman Service, your November resident panel update. I took the Housing Ombudsman Service to court too. Richard Blakeway must be accountable for allowing Housing for Women stigma. And the sentencing hearing has been scheduled to take place on the 10th of March 2025. None of those dates are correct. The injunction order dated 1st August 23 remains in force on the same terms. Further, a claim for possession was also issued by the defendant against the claimant on the 7th November 2023 in relation to breaches of tenancy and or antisocial behavior. The claim for possession as originally issued relied on ground 12 and 14 of Schedule 2 of the Housing Act 1988, and following the committal hearing on the 12th June 2024 and the finding of breach of the injunction order, the claim was amended to include ground 7A, which is a mandatory ground for possession. The possession hearing was scheduled to take place on 9 December 2024. However, the claimant filed and served medical evidence in the form of a psychiatric report. The report confirmed a diagnosis of psychosis. Where they get that from, I don't know. And the defendant agreed to adjourn the proceedings for 2 months to allow the claimant to engage in her treatment plan. Okay. The possession hearing is adjourned to 7th of March. None of those dates are correct. And given the claimant's ongoing antisocial behavior, ASB, the defendant expects to obtain an outright possession order against the claimant at the same. In addition, the claimant made 2 money claims, 566MC 567 and 570MC 618, against the defendant's solicitors in August and September 2024. Applications have been made to strike both these claims. Claim 566MC 567 has been transferred to Clerkenwell and Shoreditch County Court, and 570MC618 is pending a transfer to the same court. Application to strike out claims. The claimants' claims were brought improperly via the pilot. They disclose no reasonable grounds for bringing the claims and have no merit as they fail to coherently or properly plead any genuine cause of action. Further, the allegation contained therein are spurious and entirely unparticularized. The defendant denies that it is liable to the claimant for damages as claimed or at all. The claims are all abuse of the court's process. 570MC17. In the first claim against the defendant, it appears the claimant is claiming damages in relation to her dealings with Mark Murphy, the estate officer of the defendant, and with regards to a communal key that she alleges was cut and thereafter used by the defendant's staff to access the communal area. The claimant seeks damage totaling $9,500 for breach of the Equality Act 2010 and misogyny, traumas, and coercive control of neighbors without particularizing events of her claim. Claim 570 MC174. In the second claim against the defendant, the claimant is claiming damages in relation to her dealings with Samantha Gibbs, Miss Gibbs, a former employee of the defendant. The claimant claims Miss Gibbs introduced a new housing officer who had allegedly tried to assault the claimant. The claimant has failed to particularize nor provide evidence of the same. The claimant further states Miss Gibbs had accessed the communal area through the keys given by Bank Murphy, referred to within the first claim, and further claims Miss Gibbs' statement, which was made within the legal proceedings referred to above, witness statement in the claim KO5EC530 and affidavit in the claim KO2CLA27 was defamatory. She also makes allegation against the police. The claimant seeks damage totaling $9,500 for breach of the Equality Act and misogyny, traumas, coercive control of neighbor without particularizing events of her claim. 57MC180. In the third claim, the claimant is claiming damages against the defendant in relation to her dealings with Deborah Gilchrist, the defendant's neighbor. Deborah Gilchrist is a witness in the possession claim KO5EC530 and has given evidence of the claimant's ongoing ASBO. The claimant alleges Ms. Gilchrist victimized her, turned against her, wrongly accused her, cyberbullied her, coerced other neighbors against her, and made malicious reports against her. As a result, the claimant claims she has to barricade herself in her home on Christmas Eve 2022. The claimant seeks damages totaling $9,500 for breach of the Equality Act. Same thing. 570MC419. In the fourth claim, the claimant is claiming damages against the defendant in relation to her dealings with Joe Hooper, Mr. Hooper, who is the defendant's neighbor, Ms. Gilchrist's partner. The claimant alleges Mr. Hooper moved in with Ms. Gilchrist and verbally abused the claimant's husband and threatened the claimant. The claimant further claims Mr. Hooper shouted at her on various occasions and was racist towards her. The claimant seeks damages totaling £9,000, $2,005, same thing. In the fifth and final claim, the claimant is claiming damages against defendant in relation to her dealings with Trina Filbert, Miss Filbert, an employee of the defendant who is currently on maternity leave. The claimant claims Miss Filbert lied about the date she started working for the defendant. The claimant further alleges the communal key provided to Mark Murphy was given to the defendant's staff and thereafter used to terrorize her and traumatize her husband. The claimant further alleges Miss Filbert disrespected her and provoked her on the 4th April 2024. The defendant confirmed that on the 4th April, after the court hearing, the claimant followed and verbally abused Miss Filbert outside the courthouse. As a result of this incident, the defendant made an application to the court on 23rd of May 2024 for permission for Miss Filbert to give evidence orally. So I'm that person who is going to go in court. Yeah? I'm going to go in court to do what? The permission was granted by the court on the 30th of May 2024, a day before my husband's funeral, right? A copy of the defendant's application and order dated 30th of May is enclosed with this application. Same thing, yeah? The claimant has made 5 spurious claims against the defendant for $9,500 in each case, instead of consolidating them into one claim, which is considered an abuse of power. Given that the claimant's claims are vexatious and spurious, the defendant considers that they also amount to further breaches of the injunction. Yeah, really? And all dated 1st August 23 granted to the defendant against the claimant, which prohibits her from causing a nuisance, annoyance, or distress towards any member, employee, consultant, or agent, or harassing or attempting to harass any of the above. The claimant's claim have caused a nuisance and annoyance to the defendant as well staff members expressly named within the claims, who are merely carrying out the requirements of their employment. Really? Given the fact that the court has made findings of fact that the claimant engaged in antisocial behavior. Yeah, really. When making the injunction, she has admitted to multiple breaches of the injunction, Miranda Grell and J.I. Solicitors. It is clear that the defendant have acted entirely appropriately by issuing injunction, committal, and possession proceeding against her. Accordingly, it is our position that the claimant's claim disclose no reasonable grounds for bringing the same, have no merit, and or are abuse of process, and should accordingly be struck out and forthwith. Furthermore, the claimant issued similar claims under Claim 566 C567 and Claim 570 MC6118 against the defendant solicitors, Devonshires, on 27th August 2024 and 6 September 2024 respectively. Defendant solicitors have subsequently made an application to strike out the claims on the 30th of September 2024. In light of the above, the defendants respectfully request the court to strike out all 5 of the claimants' claims in their entirety. Application for civil restraint order. Further, the defendants also request that the court make a civil restraint order against the claimant under CPR 3.39, 3.43, 3.46, and 2312 in order to restrain her from being able to bring any such further claims against the defendant without the permission of the court. Criminals. Defendant avers that the history of the claimant's conduct to date makes it absolutely clear that she will continue to act as she has done to date by issuing further vexatious and entirely unmeritorious claims against the defendant solicitors and their staff unless she is formally restrained from doing so. Yeah, try to murder me. Transfer to Clerkenwell and Shoreditch Court for consideration of application. Lastly, the defendant respectfully suggests that the court consider transferring the claims to Clerkenwell and Shoreditch County Court so that the applications laid out in this notice can be heard together with the possession claim number KO 5EC 530 at the listed hearing on the 5th March 2025. There was no listed hearing for 5th March 2025. Where you get this? District Judge Beecham, sitting at Clerkenwell and Shoreditch County Court, has reserved both the possession claim and the sentencing hearing for the committal application to herself, so already has knowledge of this matter, and the defendant would aver that it makes practical sense for one judge who has knowledge of this matter to hear all of the matters together. That bitch, you're going to prison. Sarah Elizabeth Beecham. The committal procedures referred to above KO2CL 827 are also reserved to District Judge Beecham, sitting at Clerkenwell and Shoreditch County Court. In addition, with respect to the claimant's money claims against the defendant solicitors, claim 566 MC 567 has been transferred to Clerkenwell and Shoreditch Court, and claim 57 whatever is pending a transfer to the same court. So I write here, reference complaints to YouTube, 18 Facebook pages account disabled, LinkedIn 3 accounts, Twitter legal team, TikTok 55K, Consumer Shop Jamaica, website stolen, Google My Business suspended. I'm going to read this separate. Yeah? And here is the thing. Winsome Duncan and Ryan Clement, Judge Rinder. Injunction order record of hearing. Claim KO2CL 827. On Tuesday the 1st of August 2023 before District Judge Stellini, a motherfucker. Yeah? Represented by counsel. The claimant's witness, Trina Filbert, signed on the 21st of July 2023, did not appear having, that is me, been given notice of the hearing. Yeah? District Judge Stellini. District Judge Stellini will be jailed for striking out Winsome Duncan claim with Rand and Zimmel. Yeah? Reference social media for the evidence. TikTok 241 is gone to 251. Instagram 83. BT Engineer Cable Cut. Instagram 21.212. Met Police Reneighbored Street. Joe Hooper shouting on 2nd of the 6th 2025. Windowsill 7K. Remembrance Sunday. Yeah? So I'm gonna need to read this now.